Click, click, click. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my second office here in Chinatown, Vancouver. I'm sitting here at Maxims restaurant. Let me know if the audio sounds good or not. I'm using my AirPods, or at least I hope it's working. And maybe I'll just back this off a little bit there. There you go. So you can see it's backwards. Or maybe YouTube corrects it later, but this is my revolver hat and my revolver t-shirt. I just have it all zipped up here. It's a little chilly in here with the air conditioning. Let me know if the audio is good, guys. I'm going to try to turn on comments here. Live chat, all messages are visible. Let's do that. Here we go. So let me know if the audio is good. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy, abide by our community guidelines. Sounds good. Audio was fine? Excellent. I hope it's coming from my AirPods. This is quite a bit of an ambient noise. I'm in the very back of Maxim's restaurant. Vancouver just opened up indoor dining, but even before when there was indoor dining, I was super careful. I have a huge booth here all by myself. And if I just turn the camera around here, I am the only one person there, and the chef is taking a break. You can see this is kind of a pretty large restaurant, but there's basically two people in here. Myself, one patron, one patron, and the chef. That's it. There's three people. Maybe there's a fourth person in the corner, and then there's the server, and then the second chef. But anyways, I took actually a few nice portraits of the chef. If you ever come down here, drop by and say hi to Gordon, which is here. I'm not sure if you guys can see that very well or not. Maybe not. Let me just see if I can get it to expose for this photo here, but I'll do it later. I took a few portraits of Gordon kind of sitting across from me here, and I just had a quick little meal. I wish I could share photos. I don't think I can share photos, but let me see here. Live chat. Here we go. Good audio quality. Looking forward to your latest, Andy. Okay. Sure. More tea. Excellent. Thank you. And that's it. That's good. Everything's there. Everything's there. Yeah. Thank you. So I can sit here till close to 6. You close at 6, right? Okay. All right. So I have my rent office for another 40 minutes. So like I said, I'm in the very back of the restaurant. So this is the back wall here, right here. Last time somebody complained and said, or a few people complained and said, this is a very shaky video. I apologize. I have an iPhone 8. So you could sort of see here, like I said, there's just a handful of people sitting in here. And so I feel good coming. I mean, even pre-pandemic, if you come to Chinatown around 4:30 or 5, it's pretty like Vancouver Chinatown, downtown Vancouver. There's kind of multiple pockets of Chinatown, but the main Chinatown here, the touristy Chinatown, by 3:30, it's pretty dead. Other than the non-Chinese businesses, there's the Keeper down the block, and there's like gyms and different places like that. But a place like Maxim's, the Boss, and before with Goldstone, now that they're shut down, places like that, they um they quiet down after the lunch rush. So John says, enjoy your return to normal. Yeah, it's reasonably normal. Like I said, even pre-pandemic, I would come here when it was really dead because I like to kind of eat in peace. And I often invite my friends to come join me. Obviously now with the pandemic, we can't, but pre-pandemic, I would often ask people, but if nobody joined me, as you guys saw, a lot of my tea and cameras or coffee and cameras photos where I have all my camera gear. So right now, I have my Leicas. I basically have my 28 with me, but I would just basically pose my cameras and with my food, take photos, sort of catch up on email and things like that. And, maybe start doing more of these live. Hey, Ken, how's it going, buddy? Nice to see you as well. We're in the same time zone, so it's not too bad for you. The UK, I think it's probably about 1 or 2 in the morning. Asia, they're just waking up right now. So hello, my Asian fans. My wife will get mad at me because she says, "Why didn't you should announce these things much earlier?" But I really didn't know. So this is the first week of restaurants opening up for indoor dining, and so I didn't really know how busy it would be here, and I wanted to make sure I came here when it was really slow, and I also wanted to get some shots with the Leica Q 2 M monochrome and the Leica Q, the regular, as well as and they're both 28s, and then the Leica CL with the 18, and then the Ricoh GR3. So I have all my 28s, not all my 28s. I have four 28s with me, or 28 equivalent at least, with the CL and the GR. And APS-C, they're basically 18s. And I do have the CL2 with my 28 Summicron, so that could have been 5. But I just have my Dom key bag here, my shoulder bag. Because when I come into Chinatown, I'm very wary of how much gear I carry, and also quick access, quickly moving in and out of places, in and out of alleys, in and out of narrow spaces, and having a big backpack with tons of gear and kind of being out alone, just not that functional for me. So having these four cameras, the Qs are reasonably compact, so not a big deal. So it's worked out pretty good for me so far. And I'm missing, hey, Will, how's it going? My buddy Will in Fukuoka in Japan. How's it going, Will? And it's funny, the comments are disappearing on me, though. I don't know how to make it not disappear. So let me just kind of go into, some of the features here. Let's just see live chat. All messages are visible. I'm sure I had that. Here we go. Slowly going back to normal. Northeast US is getting back to normal far too quickly, in my opinion. Be careful, go slow. Hey Andy, how's it going? Yeah, no, definitely. I'm very careful. I think a lot of you guys already know my story. Last in 2020, I was in Hong Kong just as COVID was spreading outside of China. And so when I came back to Canada, I self quarantined myself. The government, I think a month later, the government required it, or a month and a half later, almost a month and a half later, because I came back February the 3rd, I think, or February 2nd from Hong Kong back to Vancouver. And I quarantined myself for 2 weeks, myself and my mother in law, just to be careful, just to be a good global citizen, just to make sure, the kind of like the blood guilt on my hands if I brought it to Canada, like I'm the one that brought it back, so I really wanted to be careful. So even throughout this pandemic where they said you can have people over, my wife and I have not had anyone over other than family, and only when necessary, and not in terms of a social gathering and things like that. So definitely I've been very careful. So thanks for letting me know. Scotland, Frederick, are you coming in from Scotland? I hope not, because it'd be like 2 in the morning in Scotland, right? But if so, I appreciate if that's where you're coming in from. Hi, X Pro 3 or XE4? I think for most people, I think the XE4 is probably the more practical way to go. Although the X Pro 3 is a more powerful camera. It has dual card slot. It has uh, a better build quality. It has the front autofocus, the focus select dial. It has the rear view dial button. A lot of buttons are removed on the XE4, and they expect you to use custom dials and stuff. So in terms of button layout and in terms of like the features, I think the X Pro 3 has better, but you'd have to get used to the articulating screen, which is a little bit unusual. But I think for the average shooter who wants kind of like a normal articulating screen, it wants kind of a normal functioning camera, the XE4, and it's quite a bit cheaper. It's almost half the price, right? And so they kind of aesthetically have that offset viewfinder that Fujifilm's been calling it, but the rangefinder styling. But I would still say, for the average person, I think the XE4 or the XS10 will be a better choice. Oh, Frederick, yes, I'm going to bed. Sorry. Oh, hey, 2 a.m. You better get to bed. It's pretty late. Take, what does it say? Take, low key. You've got many photographers' dream cameras there. Yeah, no, for sure. And Fabian, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Thanks for all you do for the community. Greetings from Indiana. Hey, thank you for the super chat, and hopefully I can come visit the U.S. soon, including Indiana. I would love to do kind of a road trip across the U.S. I talked to a few of my buddies in the U.S. that are willing to do it. Juan from Beers and Cameras. I talked to um, a few people that are kind of wanting to do a road trip with me, but we'll see how that goes. But Thank you again for the super chat. I appreciate it. Doing these lives, if you guys want me to continue doing this, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to, like, I would like to upgrade my phone, and I would need to upgrade my internet data so I can do this weekly. Because I will definitely go over my internet limit if I do this all the time. And because I'm on a little tripod, a little monopod tripod, this is fine. But I think long term, when I'm out and about and kind of showing, because I would love to leave here and walk down the stairs and then kind of show you around. But people have been complaining that the last video was too shaky. But you know, with an iPhone 8, that's pretty much all I can do. So hopefully people can can put up with it for now until I decide if I want to upgrade or not. Boston and New England road trip would be amazing. That would be amazing. Anywhere through the U.S. I mean, U.S. is such a vast country with such population density is much higher than in Canada, of course. Just New York State, I think there's 3 states in the US that have the same population as Canada or very close. I think it was Texas, California, and New York, I think. You guys have over 30 million people. Canada's like 35, 36 million. So we are a larger country than the US, but way less population, about 10% of your population. And so, you know, anywhere through the US, I think even just going down the West Coast, going down the East Coast, going through the central north, and then the central US, and then along the south, multiple trips, multiple times. I think it would be a lot of fun. Let me just, Indiana is in the Midwest here in the US, so lots of little old towns and beautiful back roads. Yeah, actually, there's quite a few little kind of abandoned kind of towns and stuff that would love to to check out. I forgot the name of the town. Maybe you'll know it, Fabian, but it's the home of Evil Knievel, and they have an old open pit mine that's now been. It's like it's like one of the world's worst ecological disasters or something. Birds would fly in and die there, so they have, I don't know, hawks or something to keep the birds from landing in this big open pit copper mine, I think. But the town itself is really cool, and I think it's the town where Evil Knievel is from. But every year there's like a parade there, like a hot rod parade or something like that. But I kind of Google mapped that town, and it looks really interesting. I would love to visit there, and I would love to do a film photography road trip. I think from Vancouver, it's only like a 15-hour drive, but the borders are still closed. So I'm waiting for the borders to open up. Technically, I can cross the border for work, and I can get, you know, some of my colleagues in the U.S. to say yes, we've hired bigheadtaco to do this event, and technically I can cross. But again, I want to be very careful. I want to be very respectful of people's sort of perception of people crossing the border. Some think, you know, or you know, there's extreme ends of this thing, but I'd rather just be careful for the sake of my family and for myself, as well as the places that I'm visiting. So let's wait for the border to open up officially, and then I'll come down and visit. So Jake is saying, is there any compact lens that you use on the X system that is closer to a 28 to 35 millimeter equivalent? The 27 Fuji is a good size, but 40 is odd for me. Yeah, I mean, you can get the XF23 f2 or the XF23 f1.4. The 1.4 is optically better, but it's an older design for focus. The 23 f2, I call it the Fujicron, fast focus, quiet focus, weather sealed, but optically it's nowhere near the 1.4. So you kind of need something that to kind of bridge the two. It's the same problem with the XF35 f2 and the 1.4. The 1.4 is optically superior. The f2 is the latest, greatest autofocus, weather sealing. We want something kind of in the middle. Another option is getting a brand like Viltrox. It has a 23 f1.4. Now, I haven't tested it, but a lot of people that have said optically it's great. And I have the 33 1.4, and optically it's also a great lens. So give those lenses a try. Evil Knievel's hometown is Butte. That's what it's called. So Butte, Montana. I would love to visit there, Andrew. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, so I've looked through Butte, Montana. Tons of beautiful old, like the old part of town, beautiful old buildings. I would love to do some really cool drone shots, but as well as kind of 4x5 large format kind of photography in a place like Butte, either early sunrise, mid sunset, and even in the night, kind of doing astrophotography, using some of those old abandoned streets, and even kind of doing some like one-wheeling or bicycle vlogging in and around the old part of town, I think that would be an amazing place to be. John is talking about the Q1. The Q1 is awesome. For that 24 megapixel sensor versus a 47, I think for most of them, there is the Leica SL2S, which basically drops the SL2 from a 47 down to 24, and it's like $2,000 cheaper. And I think a lot of people, I think they would be smart to create a Leica QS, like well, then you basically just buy the original Q1, right? But anyways, and you're also shooting the, what did you say there? The S1R and Nikon FM3A. Yeah, FM3A is awesome. And Plabao, the Makina 6.7. Yeah, you got some great cameras there, John. And actually, I'd get an XS10 way before the XE4. Yeah, I think in my YouTube video, I kind of concluded that as well. Like all things being equal, I would, if I'm looking for a prosumer light compact Fujifilm EDC kind of a camera between the XT30, the XS10, and the XE4, I would pick the XS10. Um, but if they updated the firmware on the XT30 to the latest, greatest, I might even go the XT30 route. I would pick the XE4 last. Not that it's not a good camera, but compared to the other two, in terms of ergonomics and how I shoot, that's probably the way I would want it. But anyways, what is your experience with the Samyang 12? I haven't shot with the Samyang 12, but I like the field of view. It works out to be about an 18 millimeter in full frame. And with the GFX system, it works out to be a 23. So it is quite an ultra wide, great for vlogging, great for landscape, great for architectural. But I haven't seen the distortion or the chromatic aberration or sharpness. So I can't really say if I can't say yay or nay. But Steele Matthews, you having lunch? I just finished lunch. I wish there was a way of like I can share photos from the app. YouTube's got to update this live app, but yeah, I just had a pork chop sandwich and some Hong Kong style milk tea, and I just have regular tea here. And I paid my bill, and they're gonna shut down in about 25 minutes. So we'll see. I'll stay here till I'm at 17 minutes. Maybe I'll be here for another 6 or 7 more minutes, guys, and then I will head out and try to get some shots done with the Q2 monochrome and the Q2. Mostly I've been doing testing. I haven't been trying to get epic street photos. It's more about comparing the two. And then the CL and then the GR3. And kind of critically looking at all 4 images, all about 28 millimeter, looking at high ISO performance, looking at sharpness, looking at depth of field, color minus the monochrome, obviously, but the advantage of shooting color over black and white for certain types of situations. So just kind of when you're flipping 4 cameras around, it's really hard to focus on style. Although obviously there's going to be a bit of my style in all the photos, and the sun's going to be out for a little bit longer. I want to see what the sun's going to be like when I finish doing this live. And so, but I promised Camera Girl that I would do a live show today before I head off. Camera Girl's like, you should always be consistent. When you promise to be on live once a week, then you should live up to your promise. So Camera Girl, I am live here at Maxims, and you can see here, as again, I'll turn the camera around here. It's dead. There's one customer. I think there's maybe one more. No, he's gone in the corner. So it's basically me and the one customer, and that's about it. Let me just turn this around here. Here we go. And I missed, I think, one of Will's comments there. Will, do you have a drone? No, I don't have a drone, but I have a lot of people with drones, and I've been offered drones from different companies. I just kind of said no for now because there was no opportunity for me to use one. So if a brand reaches out and offers me a drone, I'll say yes and test it and use it. Or if I need one, I'll just either borrow one or just buy one. But I just don't want to be overly weighed down trying to get B-roll all the time, because unlike a lot of YouTubers, they're not photographers, right? I'm a photographer that happens to use YouTube as one of the platforms to share what I do. And so if I waste so much time on B-roll, epic B-roll, hiring a videographer, getting a drone, and then setting up the camera in the room and then walk out of the room and then walking back. It just takes too much time. So that's why doing these lives and stuff kind of speeds up my workflow so that I can get out videos very quickly. So if I need to do one video a week minimum, then I do these lives so that I can get these videos out very quickly. So, but if I'm doing an epic trip like going to Butte, Montana, or a road trip down the California coast, or a road trip down the East Coast, things like that, then I would kind of think about B-roll, and I thought maybe having a drone or something would be a good idea to have. Um, Let me see here. Steel Matthews, bokeh aberration, not great. If you talk about the Samyang 12 millimeter, I guess. And this is Corey. I'm in Victoria and need to come over to Van to capture more of the city. Thanks for the content. Oh, hey, Corey, come visit and just DM me on Twitter or Instagram if you're. I'm around. I don't avoid people, but I do, like when I'm out and about on Instagram. I usually will do a stories so people know like, hey, Taka's out. And if someone wants to meet up with me, I'm more than happy to meet up. I've had some like sometimes people take photos of me and they post on Instagram. It's like, oh, I saw Taka here, and I think like, oh, you should have just come out and said hi. I'm not. I love it when people come up and we talk shop. Um, your drone, by the way, in Canada, if your drone is above 250G, you need a permit. Costs about 25 Canadian to do the exam. Okay, well there you go. Then I would probably make sure that my drone is smaller than 250 grams, because like I said, I don't want to complicate things for myself. And I know that someone has said even recently that in Hong Kong it's pretty much banned everywhere now because people were over droning. Because Hong Kong is a beautiful place to drone because of all the buildings and such. But I do the reverse drone, right, where I take pictures of buildings straight up. So yeah, I just think it's more of a hassle for me to do droning. You can almost just go to those websites that offer um, pre-made videos, tons of different websites, right? We can just get B-roll shots of drones of these cities you're visiting and just embed them in my video anyway. So definitely keep things simple, right? And Andrew, thanks for all you do. Um, Passing the torch to the new generation. Hope to catch up with you in Eastern Canada or your Eastern US. Yeah, for sure, Andrew. I think once things open up, if it's for holidays, I'm probably going to be going down the West Coast to San Diego with Camera Girl. And for work, I'm probably going to go to the East Coast to New York and Pennsylvania. And I have a few of my colleagues that have agreed to do some projects with me. So stay tuned for October 2021. I'm probably you're going to see me out and about in either on the West Coast or the East Coast or both coasts. Holiday, but if it's holiday, it's holiday, right? I'm gonna do a few pictures here and there, but pretty much spend time with Camera Girl. And then East Coast is going to be to hang out with my colleagues over on the East Coast, which I've been promising to visit for a long time. Ken, come out to LA area. I'll take you sailing. Oh, that sounds awesome. I would love to sail. Just like in that movie, What About Bob? I'm sailing. You guys know that reference, but you can tie me to the mast and tack. Actually, you know what? I don't get boat sick at all. I don't get motion sickness. Camera Girl gets a little bit, even on the double-decker buses sometimes. I know of quite a few people, including Camera Girl, if you go to the top front, she tends to kind of get motion sickness. I don't get motion sickness either on boats, ferries, on buses. I'm cool with motion sickness, of not having motion sickness. I think I would actually have a good time. Although I'm just thinking, I don't think I've ever been on a sailboat before. I've been on boats, but definitely not sailboats. That sounds like no mast tying happening. Good, good. I'm a good swimmer too, so I wouldn't even be afraid to fall into the water. I'm all right swimming in the ocean. I took swimming all through elementary school and a little bit of swimming in high school, so I'm good at swimming. I'm a fish. No, anyways, so I'm gonna head off. Um, it's been 25 minutes. Thank you for those of you that joined. Thank you for the super chat, whoever that was again. I'm gonna just back up here. That was Fabian Puello. Fabian, thank you so much for the super chat. That'll pay for my milk tea. This isn't my milk tea, but it will pay for my milk tea. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. And hopefully I'll try to keep this if you guys like this, especially once this is finished, let me know in the comments if you like these BHT live, but not in my studio, me being out and about. I mean, it's less gear centric. Usually in my studio, I'm always showing you what I have, right? So here, like a Q2 monochrome, and you can see here, when I always love doing this. Sorry, I'm trying to do it in reverse, but when you do this, you can see it switches from macro mode to non-macro mode. I think it looks really cool. And here's the regular Q2. You can tell with the red dot and the regular colored markings here. So anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching and happy shooting. I'll use this camera. You can hear how loud the shutter is. Ready? All right. All right. There you go. Maybe that'll be the thumbnail when I get home. Thanks, guys. Peace.